you can ask your a 10 minutes Q&A where you can ask your questions, which will then be followed by a short quiz with fun questions, which will give awards to first 3 places. My name is Mehmet Karakoç. I'm working as an assistant director for Doctoral Research Awards. And today's speaker is Dr. Fahri Karakoç, who's a senior lecturer in business and leadership at Norwich Business School of University of East Anglia. We now have 25 participants, I think. We're expecting more, but we can begin, I think. I think I have to make you a host.
Thank you. I experienced a freezing of my PowerPoint, so I might need to restart PowerPoint. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay, it works now. Let me just share my screen. Good evening, everyone. Let me just share my screen with the sound, and let's make sure everything works well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. My computer is being updated nowadays, so it's not optimum performance, I'm afraid. But can you hear me well?
I can hear you really well.
Okay. And can you see my screen?
Yeah. You can see.
Okay. So, welcome everyone. Great to see you all. I'll be sharing my scattered thoughts. I have a very divergent brain, very scattered brain, as you will see. And I will share some glimpses of how we might prepare for 2013, not only as an academic, but as a professional as well. So welcome to our workshops. Great to see you. I was born and grew up in Turkey, then went to Canada for my PhD, and for the last 11 years, I'm in the UK. I work at University of East Anglia. I also teach at Mountbatten Institute and University of Cambridge in Pembroke King's program. After the pandemic, I went through a midlife crisis, and I started writing on Medium. I wrote about 400 articles nearly, and created 600 YouTube videos. And I became a TikToker recently. So I'm not a traditional academic, as you can see. And I tend to become a bit more crazy, especially after the pandemic, because I realized that we might die any minute and we have to actualize our full potential. We lived a lot through 2020 and 2021. Just 1 year felt like 5 years packed into one. Pandemic, Black Lives Matter, all these wildfires, elections, stock market highs, and historic breakthroughs, technological breakthroughs. We achieved 10 years of progress in e-commerce in just 8 weeks. Telemedicine, 10 times increased. Streaming videos, Netflix has reached 50 million subscribers in 7 years. Disney Plus reached it in 5 months. So everything is accelerated. And we went to remote learning everywhere around the world. And robots are coming. Machines and robots are coming, especially after COVID. This digitalization is accelerating, as well as this automation is accelerating. So almost 90% of Fortune 500 companies are not on the list. They have dropped. And the average age of companies, it is reducing from 90 to 14. Right now, it is less than 10 years. 10 years. Think about the implications of that. Everything is accelerated. All traditional jobs are in decline. Career ladder is gone. It's broken. Everybody has to think like an entrepreneur. The industrial revolution is over. The entrepreneurial revolution is starting, and we have no clue as universities or as academics about the rate of change that is going on in the world. Everything is changing, but our educational systems are stuck. Universities don't change. Educational systems don't change. We have the same school system as usual. COVID has disrupted everything. You know, everything is being streamed, right? If you stream Netflix, you pay $100. If you stream Harvard, 50,000. What the heck? Why do I pay 50,000 for a university, even if it is the best, supposedly the best? I would never go to Harvard and pay 50,000. All universities have lost their relevance in this framework. When we think about Harvard or the concept of university, it has all these elements, right? Different values. And after COVID, many of this value bundle has disappeared and everything has become remote. So education also has to be disrupted. There are many attempts to disrupt education. And after COVID, I think we are in full disruption mode right now. And you see Silicon Valley initiatives are trying to disrupt education. Lambda School, for example, you pay tuition only after you get a job. And look at Ecole 42. This is Silicon Valley's response to university education.
It's just amazing.
It's super exciting.
I think it's awesome.
Amazing. It's about time.
So the really awesome thing about going to 42 is you feel like you're walking into a school from the future.
There were people in the room, it was I think 11:30 at night, and you could see young people working on coding.
When I walk the halls of 42 in Paris, it makes me wish I could spend my time in that building learning.
I think 42 can bring a lot of things to the educational system in the United States.
Educational institutions and even the nonprofit institutions are now charging a lot of money, and people have to go into debt in order to enroll in school.
You know, globally, the education system hasn't evolved as fast as technology.
Do you think that the innovation is going to come from the government, sort of, mandating these new classes? Probably not. We can support that effort, but it probably does take stuff like 42 to come along and really change how people think about computer programming as a fundamental thing, that skill that many more people should learn.
So everything is being disrupted. Look at Google. Google says you don't need college anymore if you pay $49 per month and get our courses for 6 months or maybe less than 1 year, then this will be equivalent to college degree. Think about the implications of that. Universities are losing their relevance in this world. Everything is changing so fast. Yet, everyone needs to learn an extra of 101 days in this year, according to World Economic Forum. We have to learn, we have to disrupt ourselves, but as universities, we don't disrupt ourselves. We are very traditional, very inward looking, and very narrow. So much is happening around the world, including COVID, artificial intelligence, robots, automation, the rise of China, 3D printing, and all these new technologies, but we do so little to adapt to these changes. Let's look at this. If you invested 1,000 in Ethereum 5 years ago, it would be $300,000 today. Look at these 4 companies. They started in garages, Apple, Amazon, Google, Disney. Now they are worth 6 trillion. Look at Uber, the world's largest taxi company. They own no taxes. Facebook, the largest media, they own no content. And Netflix, it has no movie house, yet it is the largest movie house. Look at Airbnb. It is the bigger than all the hotel chains, combined Marriott, Hilton, all of them. And yet Airbnb is just bigger. That's the power of disruption and technology and imagination. Think about the power of potential of imagination to transform ourselves and our universities. So here's your first adventure. Please do this exercise. How would you design the university of the future? In the next 2 minutes, I want you to create minimum 5 ideas. How would you disrupt higher education? Please write down your ideas. please wrap it up. You can continue at home, of course, later on. But for now, I want you to accelerate your thinking, quickly come up with maybe 3 ideas, that's it. So that's my vision for the university of the future. It should carry all these elements, I think, and I try to incorporate these into my courses, my own teaching. So it has to be self-directed. Students take charge of their own learning journeys. It is personalized, customized. Students tackle real-world problems, complex problems, such as climate change, contribute to these real problems, or inequality. Students develop employable, entrepreneurial, practical skills. Students pursue their passions, curiosity, and creativity. And students build their own creative assets through imagination, discipline, and hard work. And students play, tinker, explore, design, fresh possibilities. So that's my vision of the university. I'll send you all the slides. So I will ask the organization to send you all this, so you don't need to take notes. But if we rethink universities, I think they should be places for imagination. So degrees are journeys of exploration. Curriculum is centered on creativity and innovation. Failures are failures of imagination. Classes are imagination experiments. Exams are boot camps of creation. These are artistic, technological, scientific, or entrepreneurial startup weeks. And professors, we are champions of journeys of creativity and imagination. And all these disciplines, departments, borders, they need to be simply eliminated to imagine complex, multidisciplinary domains. So that's my vision of where we should go. Everything is changing very fast. Think about these brands, Instagram, blockchain, Tesla. They did not exist like in 10 years ago or 12 years ago. They didn't exist, you know. Now they are part of our lives. So imagine the next 10 years or the next 12 years, there will be new companies, new brands, new innovations like these, much more exciting ones coming up and entering our lives. Are we ready for such disruption? Look at Tesla. It is much more than the rest of all automobile companies. Right now, it is much more than 1 trillion, right? Add all the others, Toyota, Mercedes, etc., add them up, and Tesla will double them due to innovation and imagination. So Elon Musk is taking on the world, right? He disrupted 8 different industries. He's a true Renaissance person. So my question is, and he is in artificial intelligence, aerospace, everywhere, renewable energy. My question is, how can we disrupt ourselves, our universities, and our courses like Elon Musk? What would Elon Musk do if he were in your role? If he were a professor, what would he do? He says we need to send 1 million people to Mars by mid-century. That's his goal. And he started lots of rocket ships, as you know. And if you look, it was a historical moment, reusable rockets. Remember how they did it?
Really.
Space on our test flight, building on the history of Saturn V Apollo, returning back 39
landing burns. And that landing burn has started. Looking to be on track towards their respective landing zones.
Gotcha, I see it. Yeah, got him. They're there. Oh my God, dude! You've got to be kidding me!
And the Falcon
start of a new era. These reusable rocket systems are transforming the world as we know it because the space age is starting. So who will be the first trillionaires? According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, any guesses? If you know, you can write in the chat. Neil deGrasse Tyson says, who will they be? Any guesses? He says, they will be those who mine asteroids. So
circle to the Sahara Desert, the to smartphones. But mining also comes with an increasingly critical environmental cost, one that may require us to think about off-planet solutions before it's too late.
Booster ignition.
Asteroids, moons and planets in our own solar system hold an essentially unlimited supply of untapped resources.
The first trillionaires will be those who mine asteroids.
Resources like gold, platinum and rare earth metals make some of those asteroids incredibly high-priced, but the most valuable element may be our most basic one.
What you want to mine in space is what you need a lot of.
So I'll stop here, but all these videos are there. What happens with the space age? You know, NASA's Perseverance landed in Mars. It has been just a few months, right? Just last year. Remember, this was another historical moment. This is an engineering marvel. And it is now exploring there. Why do we do this? What is the mission? Because we want a future Mars civilization, right? These are the city plans. Will be called Nuva. So all these things are happening recently in our lifetime. And this girl, Alyssa Carson, she said she will be the first to go to Mars.
I first got interested in the idea of going to Mars when I was 3 years old.
And liftoff. Liftoff.
She wants to be the first or one of the first to go to Mars.
She's a regular kid.
So you can watch her adventures, but watch this on Netflix, The Mars Generation. This is one of the most exciting things.
Leader checking in.
I was.
We did.
Planets out there that are possible homes for humanity.
Space camp opened the path for me to do things that I really want to do.
Kids today have that same drive, that same passion that I had watching the first American launch into space.
High fives all around.
Walk on Mars is just the most badass thought in my mind. It's been over 50 years since we've done something significant like this.
But all of that will fall on fallow soil if there isn't some big mission where they can apply this enthusiasm.
My generation will put their footprint in the Martian soil.
I can't think of a better thing to be defined by.
It's our duty to breathe fire into the imagination of these young people because our true place is among the stars.
So many historical changes are happening, yet we are not adapting to these times as universities. Another great change is artificial intelligence. I think you have watched AlphaGo. If you haven't,
Go is the world's oldest continuously played board game. It is one of the simplest and also most abstract.
Beating a professional player at Go is a long-standing challenge of artificial intelligence.
Everything we've ever tried in AI just falls over when you try the game of Go.
The number of possible configurations of the board is more than the number of atoms in the universe.
AlphaGo found a way to learn how to play Go.
So far, AlphaGo has beaten every challenge we've given it.
But we won't know its true strength until we play somebody who is at the top of the world, like Lee Sedol.
A match like no other is about to get underway in South Korea.
They said all is to Go what Roger Federer is to tennis.
Just the very thought of a machine playing a human is inherently intriguing.
The place is a madhouse.
Welcome to the DeepMind Challenge.
The whole world is watching.
Can Lee Sedol find AlphaGo's weakness? Whoa. Is there, in fact, a weakness?
The game kind of turned on its axis.
Look at his face.
That is not a confident face.
It's developing into a very, very dangerous fight.
Ooh, hold the phone. Lee has left the room.
In the end, it is about pride.
I think there's something went wrong.
Yeah, it's made a mistake. He's got to pronounce America.
These ideas that are driving AlphaGo are going to drive our future.
This is it, folks.
So in 5 of the matches, artificial intelligence software has won humanity. And AlphaZero has beaten Stockfish, which combines all traditional chess programs in just 4 hours after learning the rules of the game. So these artificial intelligence technologies are freaky. They are very intelligent and they are coming very fast. If you want to know more, I recommend this talk by Demis Hassabis, the creator of AlphaGo, CEO of DeepMind. So jobs will be automated. Soft skills and creativity will be more important. And the rise of sharing economy, fourth industrial revolution, means that all these developments in artificial intelligence, robotics, nanotech, 3D printing, biotechnology, they are all building on each other, which is a huge revolution and the start of smart systems. So we need to think about how we might adapt to this new world. In the age of artificial intelligence, how do we prepare students for their jobs when jobs themselves are disappearing? So our students need to learn how to create, invent, discover, be curious. And creativity becomes even more important, especially after the gig economy takes hold. Right now, 1/3 of Americans are working in the gig economy, sharing economy. And this will rise. Corporate jobs are unstable. They are scarce. So you have to think of new ways, but also we need to think of new ways to educate our students. So, and this will continue rising. And we are not ready for this new world. Everybody will be in technology. So we need to learn. The moment that we stop learning is the moment we begin to die. And unfortunately, universities are not in a good position. My observation, we are stuck. We are not doing much. We are not prepared. So, artificial intelligence is taking all jobs. Female AI news anchors are already in China presenting the news.
现场的各位朋友，大家好，欢迎来到新华社。我是由新华社和搜狗公司联合培育的全球首个 AI 合成女主播。我的名字叫辛小萌，我的声音和
So, creativity will become the most important quality ahead of us. And we are currently preparing students for jobs that don't exist, using these new technologies that haven't been invented to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet. So all these skill sets are changing. These are the new skills: sense making, creativity, novel adaptive thinking, computational thinking, transdisciplinarity, cognitive load management, design mindset. These are some of the things that we need to be thinking about. But think about all these new technologies: blockchain, Internet of Things, sustainable energy, artificial intelligence. They are all building on each other, which is a perfect revolution. And we need to think of ways of how to make our education relevant in this age. So technology is the only area that young people have the advantage, and we need to help them rapidly so that they can accelerate their learning, because they can spend 20 years trying to become an expert in an old industry, or they can spend just 2 years to become an expert in a new industry, such as TikTok. The second way is much more practical. As universities, I think we need to also be practicing with these new technologies. What is happening? Let's look at the amputees. This year, which amputee was sold for $69 million? Do you know? And if you don't know, I mean, I would question again our relevance. If we don't know these, this was Beeple, which was a historical world record, and it started this amputee revolution. What else? What's the future of the internet? Metaverse. It is coming. We already see this in Billboard. So in this new world, we are not ready for this metaverse, yet our jobs will be in the metaverse in the future. And Mark Zuckerberg says in 10 years, you will go to meetings, you'll digitally teleport yourself to meetings. So we will be doing our jobs with our avatars in the metaverse very soon. And we are not ready for this either. I mean, that's why the cryptocurrencies, blockchain, these are so critical. And these amputees and this blockchain technology, it is a milestone. Another milestone was Google achieved a huge milestone in computing, which was quantum supremacy. This is transforming all computers as we know it. And everything will accelerate, that means. So in the next 10 years, in 2030, we will experience the paradigm shift of 2 times. And then this will accelerate 4 times, 8 times. And in 2070, the paradigm shift rate will be 32 times. So this is a perfect storm, and we are not ready for it. What else is happening? China is on the rise. Now China becomes the leader in Fortune 500. So if you look at the list, China has more companies than the US now. So the eagle and the dragon, we see the rise of the dragon. Beijing is becoming the world leader in artificial intelligence. And the world's most valuable unicorns, they appear in China. And 5G, we are adjusting to 5G, but China is already working on 6G. And 6G will become 100 times faster than 5G. And they already sent the first orbit, satellite into orbit. And from AI to facial recognition, China is leading the way and setting the rules in new technology. And Beijing plans to spend $1.4 trillion in the next 5 years on AI. So here's your challenge now. In the next 2 minutes, imagine that you are in a secret time travel machine. You are on to 2030, you are transported. Where will you be in 2030 or after, let's say, 10 years? Where do you imagine yourself? Please write some quick predictions, quick notes. Where do you want to be? Where do you wish to be? Where will you be? Where will your university be? Where will you be working? Think about your career. Think about your achievements. Think about your life. And think about all your dreams. And please write quick notes to capture these. So what does your life look like? How about your career? want you to quickly write down your reflections. Please wrap it up. You can continue this exercise afterwards, of course. This is a hugely fun exercise, by the way. If you write a letter to yourself, let's say your future self, where will you be in 2030? Write a letter to your future self, and then think about your future self in 2030. Where do you wish to be? Imagine that your future self in 2030 writes a letter back to you. How would that letter look like? Write that letter as well. So what would your 2030 future self tell you? Write down that letter as well. This is extremely mind-opening, and this will enhance your imagination. So my core message today is creativity is no longer a luxury. It's a critical survival skill that we need to adapt to rapid changes, solve complex problems, imagine new possibilities, and navigate uncharted waters ahead of us. So ask yourself, how would Elon Musk or Richard Branson or Peter Diamandis or Oprah, how would they design our university or our curriculum? I think we need to replace academic writing with practical skills, innovative projects. And we need to really focus on disruptive innovation, future skills, and digital skills, and the metaverse, and NFTs, and blockchain, and sharing economy. And we need to really focus on creativity, asset creation. The last part is really critical. For creativity, this is my mantra. This is my philosophy for my courses. You can have a look at this. This is the cornerstone of my teaching philosophy as well. Every student has to reclaim their creativity. So I give them lots of projects so that they can survive and thrive during the disruptive 2020s. These are some of the resources that I would like to share with you regarding that. But we need new mental models to survive in this new, complex, rapid, accelerating era. So here is your exercise, the last one exercise of today. I want you to make a list of all your creative assets now. What are creative assets? These are all your portfolios, reputation, online assets, your website, blogs, podcasts, TikTok, YouTube, or your articles, your courses that you designed, your career assets, your skills, teaching skills, writing skills, research skills, and what have you created up until now? Please make a list of all of them in the next 1 minute. What do you have currently? And we are towards finishing. What are your current creative assets? List them quickly. And the next question is, how will you create new creative assets in the next 1 year? And also in the next 10 years. Think about the next 10 years as well. Like, let's say you will create your own renaissance. What do you wish to create in the next 10 years? Would you like to create your YouTube channel? Would you like to write on Medium? Would you like to establish a company? Would you like to create your own artwork, become an artist? Would you like to write articles. In which fields? How many articles would you like to write? How many courses would you like to design? What type of courses? And how will you accelerate your career through these creative assets? Would you like to write some books? So please make a list of all these quickly. And I think this is the best gift that you can give yourself for the next 10 years. If you really think about what you want to achieve in 10 years, I think this will transform your life. Why do I emphasize this? Because why is this so critical? Because we live in too much disruption. We have to rely on our assets. We have to master assets. So if you have money, you can buy assets. If you don't have money, you need to create them. As academics, we don't have money, so we have to create them. What can we create? Ebooks, online courses, fashion lines, songs, music, lifestyle brands, YouTube channel, artwork, patents, products, services, businesses, etc. So that's my message. You have to use your imagination. Look at these top media franchises: Pokemon, Star Wars, Harry Potter. These are like billion. Pokemon is 92 billion, you see? Harry Potter, 30 billion. Marvel, 29 billion. These are all products of imagination. And they emerged because of somebody's imagination. So what will be your type of asset that you would like to create? Look at these people. They have billions of worth. How did they create all this work? They all created assets. George Lucas is the creator of Star Wars. Oprah has been creating lots of TV stations and programs and media. She has her own media empire. James Patterson, he has written 200 books, 200. All of these people on this list, Seinfeld, J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter empire, right? All of these people, Matt Groening, Simpsons is continuing for 25 years, right? So all of these people have created hundreds of episodes, hundreds of artwork, hundreds of books, whatever, hundreds of assets. So my recommendation, if you want to really become a better academic, you need to be a Renaissance person and conduct 10,000 experiments in your field in the next 10 years. That's what I do, actually. These two teenagers, they created 7 lines of code, and this is now 36 billion striped. So entrepreneurial spirit is very alive and kicking. And our new generation, they are hustling for their post-COVID, and we need to help our students to think like an entrepreneur. There is no other way. We need to think like an artist and as an entrepreneur. This is called YOLO economy. You live only once economy. So everybody is quitting their stable jobs for post-pandemic adventures. And we need to help students to navigate this complex new world. So here's a great example. You know this guy, I think he was a lawyer, full-time worker, but he stayed up late every night to write his mystery novel. And using this method, between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., he wrote a novel every 6 months. And using this method, he published 40 books. It's an excellent example of asset creation. I think he's a great example, inspiration for us.
My wife likes to tell people that he looks very nice. He's a very nice guy. He's a very calm guy, but he has a dark side to him. As a thriller writer, my job is to look out into the real world, see the problem side. I create the problems, then during the course of the novel, I solve them. You don't want the reader to sort of settle back and be really comfortable and like drifting through these pages. You want to grab them by the throat right from the get-go and hurdle them through the next 450 pages. I wanted to get into the weeds with all of you about how I go about my craft. Great characters, how do you come up with them? How do you pace a story so that people can't stop turning the pages? All the things that go into making a successful writing career, I've tried to deliver to you during this master class. I was a lawyer when I first started writing my first novel. I would spend time with my family. They would go off to bed, and around 10 o'clock, I would go downstairs and I would write till 2 in the morning every day, 7 days a week, and I did that for years. If you want to be creative writing stories, you have to be very creative in finding the time to write those stories.
So that's my message to you. You need to create your own assets, even if you are busy. That should be your priority. And that's what I did after the pandemic. I realized that I will die soon. If I survive every day, I have to create something different, something unique. That's why I became a YouTuber, because I wanted to do this. So I created my YouTube channel. I have right now, as you can see, 1.37K subscribers. I have created another channel, which is smaller right now. But in these two channels, I created more than 600 videos since the pandemic. I wrote my book. I love doodling. When I was a child, I loved doodling. So I doodled every day, and I keep doodling every day. And then I turned it into a book. And this book is sold in 14 countries right now. So this is another asset. And I use this as my course toolkit as well. So this is my textbook in my courses for my students as well. This is about creativity and self-discovery. And I started writing on Medium. As I said, I wrote nearly 400 articles there. And as you can see, I make about around 60, 70, 80 pounds, $80 a month for now. So this is one of my Medium articles, actually. OpenAI created a new software that produces human-like text. Do you know this? This is GPT-3. And this was published on Guardian. A robot wrote this entire article. Are you scared yet human? Was the name of the article. And I wrote about this on Medium, GPT-3. This is just an example. I wrote this article and I forgot about it afterwards. And after 1 year, I realized how much money did it make? It made more than $100, as you can see here. So if you create assets like these, let's say this might be a Medium article or a YouTube or a TikTok, whatever you're passionate about, don't wait, create it and become a good role model for your students. That's my message for today. Because the future is very disruptive. You need to create your own journey of asset creation. Let's say I will design 300 entrepreneurship success tips on Instagram. Ronaldo makes double of his salary from Instagram. Joe Rogan, he created 4,000 podcasts and he signed a deal with Spotify. He made $100 million due to his podcast. So this is the new world, you know. Look at these YouTubers, they are teenagers and look at how much money they are making, $26 million. You know, this is the new world. YouTube is beating all television. And you look at these new stars, new celebrities, they are all on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And this is the new world, new reality. You know, so my message, treat the next year as year of asset creation. Establish your own asset and business. And in my modules, I want my students to create their own assets as well. This is a core requirement of all my module work. So the rule here is you need to act in 5 seconds. The moment that you want to establish your YouTube or Medium, whatever, now I'm finishing this workshop. After the workshop is over, you need to act in 5 seconds. Otherwise, your brain will stop you. You will create excuses. So you have just one shot at this. Like, if you want to write an article, write it today. If you want to publish a book, write one page today. If you want to create your YouTube channel, upload your first video today, right now. So whatever you want to do it now. Our lives are short, and you need to become the hero of your life. So the last thing, to prepare for 2030, and I'm finishing here, I promise. Where will you be in 2030? Visualize it, write it down, imagine it. For example, I said I will create 2,000 YouTube videos in 10 years. And I said to myself, I will write 2,000 Medium articles in 10 years. And I will write at least 5 books in 10 years. And I will create at least 2 online training programs. I will create asset creation, summer school, and a hackathon. And write yourself a check. I wrote myself a check, $1 million in 10 years. So write these down and write a letter to yourself. Visualize this. The more details, the better. And incorporate these exercises, into your modules as well, because the world is changing very fast. And I think this is the best way to adapt to this new world. We have to be creative. We have to act now, and we have to act as role models to our students. So I stop here. Sorry, it took longer, but I wanted to share these messages across to you. So I have much more slides, and I will send the slides to you so that you can have a look. Let's look at the questions now. Let's discuss.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Frey. I find that really interesting and valuable, and we'll make sure to send the slides to everybody who wants it. Before we can pass to, I think, Q&A session now, I have a question myself that I would like to ask before I ask everybody. We were talking about how we need a disruption in higher education system. You know how most universities are traditionally really theoretical in their approach. Yes. Do you think we should get rid of this approach completely and just focus on practical and maybe commercial attitudes, or should we balance them both?
I think you need to have some fundamentals and some theory, because theory is the basis of everything. Look at Einstein, relativity theory, or the mind-blowing, groundbreaking theories he created. We owe at least 70 different innovations and technologies, at least 70 of them, due to Einstein. All these satellite systems, all these weather prediction systems, even stock market, we owe it to Einstein and his theories. So theory is very fundamental. We can't get rid of it. It is the basis of what we do. It is like laying track, because it forms up the perspective. It forms up the mindset. So it has to be there, I think. And we need to build on it. But my point is not about getting rid of the theory. It is about, or not about getting rid of the fundamentals. It is about designing learning journeys of our students in a way that is much more creative and relevant to the changing world. Mm-hmm. So that's my point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I understood. Thank you. We have some questions on chat. Someone requested the recording. I will make sure to share it on YouTube and send the slides as well. Any questions, please? We can have them on chat if you have any questions. Otherwise, we can, I think, move to the quiz, but we can wait a bit for questions. What would your opinion be on fields of study that are not necessarily really commercial or open to technology, sort of say? Do you think they exist, or should we apply this disruptive system to every field of study in every background?
I mean, some fields, such as philosophy, is becoming much more important. Why? Because these, let's say, self-driving cars.
Yeah.
We have to use philosophy to decide on and designed it as an engineering problem. What happens to the driver? What happens to the when in the case of an accident, whose life should we prioritize and why? This requires a lot of philosophy and reasoning, and it becomes much more critical as we are entering this new age with algorithms and machines and robots. So we will be working with these machines and algorithms and robots in the near future. Therefore, we need to think of ways to how we will transform ourselves, our mindsets, how we will survive and thrive as a human being, and how do we design systems where we can act like a symbiosis with these new technologies. I think the solution is we treat these technologies as a companion. They will become our assistants, and we will be working with them, and we will upgrade our skills and knowledge and mindset, and we will upgrade our capabilities. Like we can do it like 10 times or 50 times in almost, I believe, in almost every profession. In the long run. In the long run, I think it will transform every profession as we know it. No profession is like getting away with it, I think. Yeah. It is so critical in the long term. So we need to think of redesigning our social systems, educational systems, on how to deal with this, because there will be this jobless millions of people who will be jobless, including our students. How do we survive, thrive in such a world? So meaning systems become important, our stories become important, philosophy becomes important. All these, why do we live? What is my story? What is my dream? Where is my creativity? Where are my unique talents? These become much more important because they form the basis of meaning of life. So we need new stories to capture imagination. That's the most critical thing. Otherwise, we will experience mental stress and burnout and enormous stress due to increased sophistication of and complication of everything. You know, everything becomes so complicated that we will feel as useless as humans if we don't address these early on and design meaning systems in this new era. How do we stay relevant as human beings? Elon Musk says we need to combine ourselves with artificial intelligence. That's the only way, because if you cannot beat them, you have to merge with them. That's the only way, he says, because when singularity comes and machine intelligence rises and there will be intelligence explosion, then how do we cope with these systems? We have no idea, and nobody talks about this. I haven't seen any courses or universities really dealing with the ethics and the future of these new technologies and artificial intelligence systems. But yet we need to address these. And if we address these issues correctly, we might have a chance to address climate change as well, because we need the help of these artificial intelligence systems to address wicked, complex problems such as inequality or climate change, which are life-threatening now.
Thank you for a detailed answer. We're running out of time, but we have two questions. Maybe we can have brief answers to them. One is from Phil Ruiz asking, if we automate everything, how will we earn? And
I think the most common answer to that is universal basic income. That should become a priority. And Scandinavian countries are leading on this. They are already applying some elements of universal basic income. I think it has to be a human right, such as speedy internet is a human right. The same, like it, I think universal basic income should be a basic human right very soon. And everything becomes abundant. So we can do this in the next decade or so.
This also relates to the other question from Sunay Usler saying, aren't you worried about accumulation of capital in a few top performing companies?
Yeah, that is, inequality. And unfortunately, during COVID, as you have suggested, these companies at least doubled their revenues, even some of them tripled their revenues, as well as their capital. So that is a huge problem, I think. And with the arrival of artificial intelligence technologies and augmentation with these technologies, inequality becomes even wider, which is a huge risk. So in order to prevent unrest, I think the only way and the best way is to install universal basic income as a legal necessity. And we have to build it, and so that everybody benefits from these new technologies, and everybody can survive, everybody can maintain their needs, and everybody can feel like a valuable part of society.
Yeah, thanks very much for that as well. I'd like to spend more time with questions, but I think it's time to pass to the quiz. Now we'll have a brief quiz with some fun trivia questions. That's 8 questions. I'll share my screen in a second. Yeah, I think I have it. Is the code visible? There should be a code there to log into the quiz. Yeah, okay. If you go to kahoot.it or the Kahoot app and enter this game pin, this will take you to the quiz. I think we'll wait another 15 seconds and then we'll start. Yeah, we can begin, I think. Now I'll start the quiz and read the questions out loud. You can choose the correct option that you think from your own devices. Oh, we have a sudden... Okay. We have 20 seconds for every question. Okay, so this is a true or false question asking 90% of Fortune 500 companies who are on the list now were not on this list in 2014. Is this true or false? Yeah, we have 6 right answers. Our next, this is our scoreboard. Our next question is, what should our professional priority be in preparing for 2013 according to Dr. Fahir? Is it increasing our employability? Is it buying physical assets? Is it creative assets or studying a new degree? Yeah, we have a majority of right answers, which was creative assets. According to World Economic Forum, everyone would need 101 days of extra learning in 2022 to catch up with current technology. Is this true or false? Yeah, this is true. This is, I personally relate to this statement very much while studying my own degree, where I feel like I'm still not catching up with any of the current developments. Yeah. According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, first trillionaires of the future will be the people who establish colonies on Mars, disrupt the political system, mine asteroids, or invest in gold. Yes, mining asteroids were the correct option. In which game did artificial intelligence win 5 times against the human players? Is it chess? Is it AlphaGo? Is it backgammon or poker? Yes, the correct choice was AlphaGo. We also have many people saying chess. I'm not sure if this happened in chess as well, actually. So if anyone has some facts on this, they can.
Yeah, it should be chess actually, because it says which game. The game is chess, but the program is AlphaGo, yeah?
Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry, there was a mistake in this question. What is Dr. Fahir's idea of changing the university education, adding places for imagination, cheaper education, remote learning, or more theoretical teaching? Yeah, overwhelming majority is the right answer. I think we still have 2 questions. Which NFT was sold for a record $169 million? Yes, people was the correct answer. And our final question is, how much is Beijing planning to spend on the development of artificial intelligence? That's China. $20 million, $329, $2.7 billion, or $1.4 billion. Yes, correct answer was $1.4 billion US. We have our final scoreboard. Yes, congratulations. If the winners can identify themselves via chat, we'll make sure to send them their awards. Thanks very much for joining the quiz as well. Yeah, the winners, please just send your usernames and full names to us via email, that's possible. And yeah, we have them on chat as well. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this webinar and asking questions and our quiz. And thank you, Dr. Farid Karkash, for this presentation. It was really informative and helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great to present to you, and I will be sharing the slides with you so that you can share with our participants. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.